Hello and welcome, or welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Georgie from Healing Moons, and today we're going to be looking at the witch's bones and the element of earth. For those of you who don't know my fairy co-host, that's Leon that you'll see popping up there. So, the witch's bones. There's a long history with working with bones, and it can be anything from placing them on altars, using them for divination, and even making them into musical instruments and cooking them down into a healthy broth, or healing broth I should say. And they're artifacts of our embodied spirits as well, that have crossed the veil. And they're also a reminder that death is a part of life, and that circle that we're constantly in. And in some cases, bones may be the only physical representation of us left behind. And they also connect us with our ancestors because of the DNA element as well, as we go through our ancestral path and things like that, or past I should say. So there's a lot of deep connection there, and when we talk about things that we feel very deeply, we often say that we can feel them in our bones. So there's a very deep connection there with the embodiment. And if you think of it, I kind of tie this in with tarot a little bit, because the different elements come up differently. So for earth, it's all very tangible, very physical, whereas the other elements are slightly not softer, but they're not as obvious and not quite as tangible in most cases, because you've got the fluidity of water and things like that. So we're going to be looking at a ritual that you can do and a practice that you can do to more embody the elements of earth. But before we do, I want to just quickly go over the 3 breath exercise, because it's been a while since we did that in an episode. So I'm going to quickly go through that, and then we'll go through the practice that you can use for aligning. Let me just find the title of it so I can get this correct. Aligning the bodies. So, and we are working from this book here. If you've been following the series, you'll know this already. Anatomy of a Witch, a map of to the magical body, by Laura Tempest Zakroff, and which I was sent to review by Llewellyn Publications. So thank you guys. But yeah, let's get into the 3 breath exercise. So I'm going to read it to you from the book. Right. To start, stand with your legs a little wider than shoulder width apart, with a bit of squishy bend in your knees, and have your arms loosely crossed in front of your diaphragm. As you take a deep breath in, lower your centre of gravity slightly by bending your knees, while also uncrossing and extending your arms outward in a welcoming posture. Hold the breath for 3 seconds, then slowly release, bringing your arms back to centre while slightly straightening your legs. Repeat the whole movement again, this time holding your breath for 6 seconds, then releasing. Lastly, follow the process one more time, holding for 9 seconds, then releasing the breath. And if you can hear snoring, that would be Toby, who is this side of me. He's very chilled. His eyes have rolled back in his head and everything. So, to aligning the bodies is the next exercise that we're going to take a look at. And I'm going to read the chapter, or not the chapter, but the section to you, covering that, which is roughly 2 pages long. Occasionally your bodies can get thrown out of alignment, both the symbolic and physical ones. A little adjustment and a touch more awareness can shift the physical body back into alignment, which has a tendency to also help the spiritual body. I lead all of my students through a variation of the following exercise, whether I'm teaching a formal class, dance class, or we're exploring ritual technique. I also use it for group ritual to get everyone in the same frame of mind. It can be helpful to put on some instrumental music with a slow and steady beat, or one that slowly builds up to a speed that's comfortable for you and any other participants if you're doing this with a group. Most importantly, listen to your body as you perform this exercise. Stop if anything feels uncomfortable or causes you pain. And to begin, start in a standing position, ideally without shoes on. Socks are fine. If you're unable to stand, sitting will work too. Perform the 3 breath exercise, which we've just done or gone through. Focus on your feet. Rock your weight so that you shift from toes to balls to heels and back, slowly and gently. If you are in a seated position, then gently flex all your ankles. Flex at your ankles. Sorry, I'm overtired at the moment, so this probably isn't going to go as smoothly as it could do. I'll start that again. Then gently flex at your ankles to roll your feet against the floor in the same manner. It may help to consider the texture of the floor as you engage with it or wiggle your toes. Bring your focus up from the feet to your ankles and calf muscles. Squeeze and release the muscles in your calves, feeling the strength in your lower legs. Next, softly bend and gently straighten your knees without locking them. Let them be fluid and squishy like the motion of the ocean. Your knees are a meeting place. Heading up from your knees, consider the front of the thighs, the quads, and your backside, the glutes. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. A femur bone between each set. I find it can help to place your hands on these muscles as you flex them. Move on up to your pelvis and allow your hips to be in a neutral position. This is accomplished by engaging your lower abdominal muscles. A simple way to locate and engage these muscles, or those muscles, is to think about protecting your stomach from someone trying to punch it. Check back in with the rest of your body that we've covered so far. Feet, calves, knees, quads, glutes. Then focus on your belly. Take a deep breath in and visualize your navel as a nesting place for the serpent. Move your focus up to your rib cage, where your sternum or breastbone is situated, the which heart and lungs are protected within. Make sure your shoulders are not hunched forwards or pushed too far back. Utilize the Breathe Better technique from chapter 1, which we haven't covered, so you'd need the book for that, to adjust your posture for effective breath. Feel your chest expand and your heart beat as you breathe. As you exhale, adjust your shoulders again with a little swivel or shimmy. Then, starting at the elbows, move your arms out away from the body on each side, like a drooping topped T or an arrow. Continue the outward motion with your wrists and extend it out into your fingertips. Bring the arms back in, relax them, and visualize settling back into the clavicles and sternum. Next, shift your attention from your chest to your spine as it travels up through your neck and connects to your skull. Make sure your head is centered over your body, not tilted forward or relaxed too far back. Breathe in and send the air up through the top of your skull, visually reaching into the sky with the breath. Take in the presence of your entire body from the top of your skull all the way to the tiny bones in your feet. Breathe in again and send the breath down your spine, acknowledging the witch lungs, heart and serpent along the way. You should feel a sense of connection from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. You can do this exercise at the beginning of the day to reorientate and awaken your body. You can also do it before you go to bed to help relieve tension and other kinds of stress you may be holding in your body. And that exercise was on pages 91 to 92. And I love how that really helps us with our posture, because a lot of times, either as a result of us having some kind of blockage in our chakras, coming from an energy healing standpoint, our posture can affect, it's kind of a vicious cycle, because if we have some kind of blockage in any of our chakras, which are our energy centers in the body, it can affect the way that we present ourselves and the posture that we take. And also, if we have bad posture, then it can make any blockages worse as well. So by bringing your attention back to your body and kind of focusing on the alignment and your posture while you're connecting with your body, it can help kind of make you aware and also help bring any blockages to the surface for healing as well. And it can help clear things a little bit energetically, which is something that I think is really quite useful in this as well. Not only for embodying the element, but for also helping with, as I say, any blockages that are present in the body. As for all of these exercises, because you're connecting with different elements, and from an energetic standpoint, it will also help bring you more into balance as well. So there are other bits and pieces in the chapter that we won't have covered here, because, well, we just don't have the time to. But there's a section that links this with a card from the Major Arcana, and there's a section called the Bone Way, and then we have Aligning the Bodies, which we've just gone through, Song of the Bones, and there's the Call of the Bones ritual, which I must admit looks quite intriguing. I haven't done that one yet. And then we also have Houses with the Good Bones, and which is to do with your home. And we also have a ritual for that as well, for rebalancing the home. And there's a section called Broken Bones, and there's also the Witch Bone Sigil, which is in the back of the chapter, as is the same for all of them. So next episode we are going to be looking at the Weaver, which is the element of spirit. So we're completing the pentagram or pentacle, but that's obviously not the only things that are in the book. We'll be doing that one next week, which will conclude, I think that's going to conclude our series, to be honest. But there are also chapters on loving the magical body, which I think is really important, because it's all to do with how we view our body and the relationship that we have with our body on quite a tangible, everyday sort of level, because we all have insecurities around certain parts of our body and things like that. So there are magical practices that you can use to deepen your connection that way as well. And there's also touch the sky, kiss the earth. Which I think is something that I might have mentioned before as one of the practices. Although I think I might have mentioned that in the review. The review will be linked in the description box below. And there's also tending the cauldrons as well, which focuses on 3 main energy centers within the body and making sure that they are in balance and how to actually balance those yourself. There's a chapter called Home Within the Temple, which is all to do with going within, and there are ones for those. And then you've got the sigils and things in the background, in the back. There's also a sigil that incorporates all of the elements as well, which is in there. And I was also thinking that once we finish the series, we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit and do some other bits and pieces. And I'm also looking at possibly including some basic spells that you can do, so they'll be quite simple and straightforward and easy to follow. Just to give you a little bit of a kicking off point if it's something that you're just getting back into or something that you're quite new to as well. So we've got a little bit more diversity going on, and I want to get some more meditations out there as well. So if you have made it this far and you have stuck with me till the end, thank you so much for being here and for being part of my little corner of the internet and community. And feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you feel like doing so. And I will catch you in the next one. Until then, sending you lots of love. Bye.